Good morning, comrades. You are listening to WHIV LP New Orleans 102.3. This is your weekly Good Morning Comrade. Get more information, goodmorningcomrade.com. You can listen anywhere in the world, WHIV LP New Orleans, WHIVFM.org/listen. Very special guest today. We have PepTalksTV. He is. Oh, go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks.
Hey,
go ahead with that.
How's it going, everybody? I appreciate you having
Chicago
me on the
land,
show.
right?
What's that?
Chicago, eh?
Yep, Chicago boy.
I love Chicago. It's like the very first time. Sorry, I'll tell you, introduce myself and I immediately start talking. Go ahead, introduce yourself and then I'll get into it.
Hey guys, I'm PepTalks. The TV is more of a just had to kind of differentiate myself, but yeah, you guys can call me Pep. I have a show on YouTube and Twitch, 4:00 Central Time. Mondays through Fridays. Thursdays I kind of take off a little bit, but beyond that, on every week, and then I have this space show called Pepaganda on every Tuesday. I start the day noon my time, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Cool. And yeah, coming out of the Chicago area, like I said, I was actually in Chicago twice this year. I did get to go to a Cubs game for the first time ever, but the very first time I ever went to Chicago was in 2019. When the teachers were on strike. I kind of like worked it out so I would meet up with a couple of friends up there. It was awesome. Like it was
Nice.
just like marching down the street. They had a giant like I don't know what it was, some kind of a Mother Jones puppet just like walking down the street. It was crazy, dog.
We have a ton of creative people. They actually did something like that for the No Kings protests. I know it went pretty viral where they had the three big puppets of Trump, Elon, and I forgot who the other one was, but it was really, really cool. I know that like
Chicago goes down. They throw down at
Hey man, we birthed Guar, so like talk about burning effigies.
And as a currently a Richmonder, Guar is also here. That Guar bar is in Richmond.
Oh my god! Oh man!
But yeah, I love Chicago. Like I said, I went to a Cubs game. I went for a couple of work things there. Always have, and I mean, maybe people who don't go to Chicago don't know this. Chicago has some of the best Mexican food I have ever had in my entire life.
I am so glad you said that. I actually on my stream, I'll get excited because I have one that's right near me. It's one of the best, but I can't because it's a family joint that it's like, oh, that's easily doxing myself.
Yeah.
But it's like, God, I want to share it with you guys. It's so good.
Yeah. Save that one for like Twitter or whatever.
Yep.
Anyway, just wanted to, talk to you just about sort of, what's going on, the state of the world. I know one of the things that's sort of on my mind lately is the Zoran Mamdani just deciding to like waltz into the White House and just like charm the pants off of the president of the United States.
I mean, it was. When you say charm the pants off of it,
I mean, he almost threw his panties at him. He almost
did.
Hotel keys at him.
That look. I used that as a thumbnail, and somebody was just like, "Oh, they're all using the same photoshopped image." I'm like, dude, it's like, that was a direct rip.
That photograph, like, I'm calling it now. In 20 years, that photograph is going to be in history books.
I think so. I think so, because that day did feel historic. Like all jokes aside, like it felt
like elementary school history books. It's going to be in there.
Oh yeah, and it's also going to be like I have a little aside where it's just like, and for you body language bros, make sure that you don't do what Trump just did, where sitting there looking up at the guy, just what'd you say? Oh, your eyes are beautiful.
I do find it to be really interesting too, because like we've been talking a lot about Zoran Mamdani on this show, just because he's sort of been kind of like the one ray of sunlight that kind of exists, the sort of like one thing that like kind of does feel a little bit hopeful, not to like put an entire movement on an individual or anything like that. Like obviously, like there was part of the reason that his campaign was able to be successful in New York City was because they were able to essentially organize 100,000 volunteers and people to door knock, and essentially built an army to knock out the Democratic establishment in the city of New York. and also kind of like buck a lot of the Democratic establishment in, nationwide as well, essentially bringing at very least the minority leader Hakeem Jeffries to at least somewhat to heel in terms of like making him at least acknowledge that he was he had to sort of at least kind of bend the knee. And it really is sort of interesting seeing coming out of the New York City victory. And I don't know if you've talked about this yet. The sort of like trying to play it cool approach, I guess you could say, playing the long game approach of like, oh, we could support, a DSA member in Chiose to essentially pick a fight immediately with the biggest dog in the yard on the
I actually
Democratic side.
I did kind of talk about it at the end of my last stream.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I did talk a little bit about it. I have a little, so I don't know. I'm a little skeptical because I'm not one to ever just listen to any party leader and just take their word at it or like for it. But when you have Bernie, Zoran, and AOC all saying the same thing, it makes me think that this is not about Hakeem Jeffries. This is about something else. And then I looked into Chiose a little bit, and he's not like your grassroots guy. Like the guy just joined the DSA in October. He has people in his own like political space saying that he's like the ultimate opportunist, which I'm not.
That's
really
part of politics, but like in a certain sense,
but I'm not looking for another George Santos.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of a stretch for a comparison, but I see what you're saying.
Well, no, like for us, like we don't need a left wing George Santos, even though he was left wing for a minute and then not, or whatever he was about, like that guy.
I hear what you're
crap.
saying. Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah,
but and again, like this is somebody who would be, Chiose, for people who are listening, and apologize for constantly talking about New York on a New Orleans-based radio show, but this is of national interest. Mm-hmm. Somebody like Chiose, who is a city council member currently, who has been a supporter of Zohran Mamdani, mm-hmm. in order to implement the agenda of Zohran Mamdani, he would essentially lose a vote on the city council for him to essentially roll the dice and take on a campaign against, somebody who is nationally unpopular in Hakeem Jeffrey, who's the minority leader, but he is locally still quite popular. Not to say that he couldn't win, but it is definitely like a big energy sink, and that's a lot of energy that could be going towards the implementing the agenda that
hold on, because like I had this actually this will play into something a little different because this isn't necessarily leftist politics, but I was having questions about why every right winger right now is panicking at the prospect of being primaried. Like they'd rather quit than be primaried. So I'm already kind of like, what's going on there? That's weird. Like, I don't understand the implications of them like losing a primary and like what that means for them politically. So like when it comes to like Ose and the left, I hate to say it because like you kind of were on that point of he may not even win that seat, and like we don't want to just hand that over to a Republican.
Now is not the time to take an L.
Right, and that's where I think that they might be playing that game because every once in a while, like this is where the incumbency thing with Biden, it would have made sense if he was younger and he didn't already say that he was going to quit. Mm-hmm. But like incumbency in politics, it is something that is kind of valuable. I hate to say it, and this is where people will.
It's extremely safe.
Yeah, and right now, like you were kind of saying, it's like not the time. Well, and that's maybe where they're coming at it from.
And when you have, Mamdani running for running for mayor, you have very little to lose in that situation. Like, it's, I mean, obviously personally, Zoran had a lot to lose because his political career could be, can sort of be ended by an unsuccessful bid for mayor or whatever.
Do you think it would have been, or he would have just run for something else?
No, or he could have said whatever. I mean, it could have definitely impacted negatively his future prospects, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But my point is that now that he has just won a very. I mean, like the mayor of New York is not like that's not a small deal. That's a big deal.
I actually said that
And
there's a reason that like Daredevil, that's a mainstay, is like Kingpin winning the mayor like race was a huge deal in comics and the show.
yeah,
And that's where it's like, yeah, you know, even for pop culture, that should give you an idea of
yeah.
how much that is like an office that is looked at with some reverence.
Yeah, and it's like it's like it's the person that's essentially in charge of the largest bureaucracy in the country, at least state wise, right? Not national, but as far as like cities go, it is the biggest one that there
That's why
is.
it kind of made sense what he did with Tish.
Yeah, well, I mean,
As
you
much
could
as I
even
don't,
disagree or whatever,
yeah,
like yes or no, like people who are on Twitter and who are like, talking about, oh, I cannot believe that he put Yimbies on his transition team, or is keeping Jessica Tish, or all these other things. I mean, what the way that this sort of project has been constructed, at least giving it as much grace as I can possibly think of right now, has been to build not just for like seizing the highest office that you could possibly get right now and knocking out, the leader of the. If you catch that car, what do you get? If just
right,
like the next Democrat up will just take it,
right,
right? But
yeah,
but in terms of if you can provide proof of concept, if you can essentially establish that this agenda that you ran on that was popular is also possible,
yep,
then holy crap, everybody across the country who, is in a different city can say, hey, New York just did that. Why can't we? Not
no, and
only is
that's
it popular in crazy New York as the Democratic establishment would like to make people think that it is, it's not.
no,
New York has normal people just like everywhere. We were talking about that with Alex last week. But
mhm,
like the reason that like the Democrats are able to continue to reign in hell as they continuously do rather than serving in heaven is because they rule out the possibility of things ever getting better. And if you can prove that things can get better, that's a scary situation for them because they're always saying that things can't get better. They're always
yeah.
saying that we can never do anything because it's impossible. And if you could just shove that in their face, that's a
No,
huge
I kind of actually brought that up at the end of my last stream, where we were talking about how it's not necessarily giving in to the Democrats, like by winning, like literally just by winning, by showing people how these are policies that you want. You have to be so undeniably popular in the way that we do, you know, create policy for the working class, and we do provide for them, and we can show like how, you know, taxing billionaires and taxing people, that because I have this thing where I'm just like, fine, let them be effing billionaires, but you cap it after a billion and you tax it 70%. That would be such an improvement on what we already have. And then we could create a lot of the programs that Soron and like that a lot of the DSA really wants that would be undeniable, like the healthcare situation. I think would, like, you have to show people that it's like, no, this is something that would really, like, not just in words benefit you. It's like, let them see how it works for them and then go like, you know what? Fuck you. You're not taking this from me. It's kind of like the Medicare thing. Like people, I think, what, in the 70s were kind of, they were against the idea of taxing them, like getting taxed more to pay for a Medicaid system or a Medicare system. And then, sure as shit, those same people that were against that in the 90s and the early 2000s were the ones holding up the signs going, keep your government hands off my Medicare.
Yeah.
Because they're also stupid. But
Well, and again, like I got one other point on this too, and again, as many people think and people understand that Donald Trump is stupid or whatever, which I tend to at least to some extent agree with. He has not come after things like Medicare and Medicaid because he realizes that if nothing else, those are things that would actually destroy his
well, his
popularity.
way of doing that was through the underhanded thing with like the
Yeah.
big beautiful bill.
Yeah, you got to do it workaround. You got to do it in a sneaky, underhanded way and not directly. Let me pause for station ID. You listen to WHIVLP New Orleans 102.3. This is Good Morning Comrade with Pep Talks. We are talking about, I guess we're talking about Zohran Mamdani in New York City again. One super last thing I wanted to mention about that I think is super interesting as a DSA member. The idea, the notion, I was okay. Let me just do a little bit. I've been a member of DSA since 2017. I was a co-chair of New Orleans. I was the chair of the labor committee. I'm a steering in Richmond DSA, et cetera, et cetera. I've been around for a long time. The idea that the mayor of New York City or the mayor-elect of New York City would show up to a DSA meeting and talk, like essentially make his like feelings felt towards the endorsement of Chiose, which he did do.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is, in terms of legitimization of DSA as a member, absolutely massive. Because like he's the mayor, but he's just another member too of the organization.
What's the difference in DSA where they're able to produce candidates a lot quicker than like say the Chicago chapter? Because that's like my one hang up. It's about like how we handle that, where we right now still have nobody. Like we have Kat Abu-Ghazaleh that's running for the D9, but that's like we don't have any prospects for 2026, which, I mean, last time I checked, coming up soon for like local office.
New York City's chapter, as far as like to get in DSA baseball for a minute, has like 11,000 members. It is a absolutely massive chapter, and like it's just they're able to marshal resources and supporters in a way that a lot of smaller chapters can't do yet because they're not at that capacity yet.
How did they do that though? Because it seemed like they kind of worked with the Democratic coalition a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, guys like Zoran was in the Congress before in the state assembly, I should say. Prior to that, Jabari Brisport and Julia. Oh my gosh, what's her name? She was Julia Carmel on Twitter. She was like a normal person back in the day. Julie Salazar was an early DSA elected in the state Senate, I believe, and they just sort of worked their way up. Zoran worked his way up just by going through the state legislature, and just it took some time. It took a number of years, and they had a very specific program that they did. I don't want to be too critical of chapters that I don't know very much about and talk too much out of school about it. But
I mean, if you have a question about it, I do.
as somebody who had been a part of that, I mean, running campaigns and figuring out what wins in your locality is really difficult. But once you can hit on it, and once you can get I can give an example of what happened in New Orleans just this past election. We ran three, I thought, pretty good candidates, particularly. So we ran Bob Morrell in New Orleans, Danielle Christmas for 2 city council seats, and then Pastor Gregory Manning, all as DSA candidates. And they were.
Oh my God! Did she at least have like every day's Christmas? Like, oh man, it's the same way if I ran for Congress. It's just like, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too?
Yeah, would you like to? Yeah, it might get. That might run you in a little bit of trouble.
Sue somebody.
But like they are developing and they're getting used to it as things go. They're building up that capacity and they're going to get there. But yeah, wouldn't you like to be a pet? I can always hear whenever I hear that, I hear it in the Johnny Five voice.
Me too. No, for real. That's how I found out about that slogan. I was just like, wouldn't you like to be a pepper too? And like, I was like 5 years old. I was just like, Mom, Johnny Five wants to be a pepper.
Johnny Five said that. Which, by the way, anybody that is under, like, anybody that was born in, like, 2000 does not know what we're talking about right now.
Dude, Short Circuit, it's one of my favorite movies of all time. It also has one of the sickest burns from a robot where it's like, hey, laser lips, your mama was a snowblower.
Yeah, no, that was great. That was also like peak Ali Sheedy, peak Steve Gutenberg.
Yeah, I saw her at C2E2. She looked
what?
Yeah, and I didn't pay to meet her because it was a little pricey, but I was just like, oh, it's Ali Sheedy. So cool.
Ali Sheedy, oh man, that's sad that Ali Sheedy is like making people pay to see her though. Like she was.
It was a Breakfast Club reunion. It was a special thing. Emilio Estevez was here, and that was a big one. I regret because he was only charging $54 for the last day that he was there, and I was just so dumb. I was just like, yeah, but it's Breakfast Club. I wasn't thinking Coach Bombay. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. What's wrong with me? I literally have it. Dude, I have a Mighty Ducks jersey upstairs. I was like, what am I doing? I'm so dumb. And next time, actually, I guess they're doing another reunion soon where I was like, all right, this next time I will pay.
Yeah. I mean, whatever, man. They were, I don't know. It was really, those movies, just to sort of like, change the subject a little bit.
Right.
That was like, there was like a run in the 90s of
80s,
like
89 through 96.
of like just these
I can
kids
pinpoint
sports
it.
movies, right?
Yep.
Probably it started what year did Bad News Bears come out?
Oh,
That
okay.
was like
Bad
the
News Bears.
70s,
That was
though,
like
right?
70. That was like 78, right?
That's like the first one,
Yeah.
right? That's like the prototype. But then you get like,
But that was a different type of like. So it
they
wasn't
were
like the
they were
kids
dirt
one.
bags. They were cool. It was
like
cool because they were dirt bags.
Right. Because like no, I think it was Sandlot. I think Sandlot started it for us. It was Sandlot, and then they had like little. What was it? The Big Green. You remember that
Big
one?
Green,
The
yeah,
soccer
that
movie.
Hamilton
Little
was in
Giants. That one was fire.
Little Giants, yeah. But they always also, even in Bad News Bears, it wasn't in all of them, but Bad News Bears stands out because Tatum O'Neal, and then Little Giants stood out because of Icebox. They always had a girl, or not always, but like in the good ones, they had a girl. Mighty Ducks had girls. They had what was her name?
The figure skater.
Yeah.
Or
there was
actually
a couple of girls.
If you ever saw Queen of the Damned, the one who's not Aaliyah in the movie, she's in that. She's in the Mighty Ducks.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
That was. I mean, it was really
actually Foggy Nelson. He's the dude. Like he's the bully.
Oh, from the Daredevil TV series.
No, yeah. But he's the original guy that could do the. He had the wicked shot.
Yeah. Fulton or something like that. Fulton Reed.
Yeah, something like that.
That was Foggy Nelson from the Daredevil show.
Yes.
No way. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because he was big, and then Foggy, he's like a dork,
Yep. No, it was so funny. Like, because I was like, where do I recognize him from? I was just like, oh my God, it's the dude from Mighty Ducks.
I cannot believe, by the way, speaking of Daredevil, we're all over the place, but it's fine. That Daredevil show, they're bringing it back. And they're doing, or they already did, I guess, Daredevil Born Again. I haven't seen it yet. I love the first 2 seasons of that show, but Daredevil Born Again, if you've ever read that comic by Frank Miller,
it ain't the comic.
Banger. It's not as good.
Well, see, the thing is, they actually did Born Again in the first season, or like the second season, or third season. It was the one after the church, or like he went to battle with the hand in the Defenders, because that also played into it. Where he meets his mom, he wakes up in the hospital. Like that's literally out of Born Again.
Yeah.
The big difference was like obviously not having Karen Page do what she did.
The heroin, yeah.
Well, also just be a blatant POS. But then they did have the thing where somebody sold him out. Like that was the big thing about it. The Disney Born Again.
Don't ever be Matt Murdock's girlfriend. Just don't do it. It's a bad deal.
No.
I've never been thought of.
That's the one where it is like, and Spider-Man thought he had it bad, where it's like, nah, dude, Matt Murdock's got it worse.
Within arm's reach.
Hell yeah.
But no,
Frank Miller's runs. The Man Without Fear is one of my favorites. I have all those issues. I absolutely love that. It's back when John Romita Jr. tried. It was fun. Spider-Man books have been
on cocaine.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, his modern Spider-Man books are just. Oof. Yeah. They might as well be called Spooderman.
Oh boy.
Doesn't draw feet. He's turned into Rob Liefeld.
Yeah,
he turned into Liefeld. It's just like, come on, man, you're so freaking lazy. It's bothering me. Although
Rob Liefeld Jr.
Frank Miller just did 2 pages in the Deadpool Batman crossover, and they're so bad. They're laughably bad because they're all in crouch positions. So it's just like,
he really, like, I don't know when it was, because like we're talking about comics now, but like I don't know when it was that Frank Miller just decided that I forgot how to draw. If you look at his like 1970s original Wolverine comics, they are so amazing. They are so detailed. If you look at The Dark Knight Returns, and if you look at a lot of those pictures, I mean, Batman starts looking a little like squatty and thick or whatever. Still looks really cool.
Yeah.
And then if you look at like
Sin City was great.
Great. Especially like the sort of like he really like perfected the noir mood of the whole thing. But then if you look at like Dark Knight Strikes Again, and it's just like everybody just looks like they're crumpled over.
It's bad. It's bad. He got that guy
Every picture,
Grandpa.
every photograph, or every drawing of Wonder Woman looks exactly the same.
Yeah. Oh, they're so. Oh, yeah. And she comes back with that stupid breastplate that's
Yeah.
like so unnecessary. It's like, come on, man. Like that works for certain artists that can, I don't know, like do like the thing for the Goon Squad, but like for what this is just like this is unnecessary. This is just unnecessary. But yeah, he got that guy Grandpa to come on to the Dark Knight 3. And I just remember I was like, well, I'm a Grandpa fan now, but I think I might be less of a Miller fan now.
One of the funniest things about Dark Knight 3 that I had heard, I don't know if it's true
The
or
Master
not.
Race, I have it upstairs.
I've never finished it.
Ooh, it's
I was
rough.
buying it hard copy by hard copy, but from what I had heard, and this is the rumor, maybe it's true, maybe you could straighten me out, but essentially Frank Miller is like, yeah, I'm not writing nothing. Brian Rezzarella, you got this.
Yep.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, because the coolest parts you could tell were totally Brian. Actually, he's a local guy to me. I met him at a Three Floyds beer event, of all things.
At a what?
I met Brian Azzarella at a Three Floyds Alpha King beer event.
Okay, that's
you
a
know
local.
What Three Floyds
brewery?
is. It's a brewery in Munster, Indiana. It's about like an hour and a half for me.
Mm-hmm. Really cool.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's good. It's a good brew. It's a good brew. But yeah, it was really cool to like meet him. Tim Seeley, I met him. He also drew the Zombie Dust logo. Tim Seeley is like a rad ass dude. I'm actually friends with Danny Warren Johnson. Went to a AEW event with him because he had an extra ticket.
Oh yeah. Well, you know who else went to an AEW event? Zoran Mamdani. Did you ever see that video of him at it was AEW Grand Slam in like 2022 in like Flushing or something like that?
No, I remember when that one went out. That was a big deal.
He was there was a video of just like him just like and not just in the crowd, he was like watching and into it. And I was just talking about this with somebody, with my brother actually. And like professional wrestling has taken over. If it hasn't already been like in like as a key part of American politics, it has hit critical mass.
Dude,
and like
Linda McMahon is our Department of Education secretary. I'm so glad that I'm talking to you because nobody understands what we watched during the Attitude Era. I watched her get wheeled out and slapped in the face by Vince McMahon.
Do you remember? Yes, I kicked him in the balls too. But which is awesome. But no, if you remember, WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 5 were both held at the Trump Taj Mahal in Atlantic City.
In Atlantic City, yeah.
There was a promo.
Used to do events there.
There was a promo that Hulk Hogan cut. I was talking about this with Alex last week. It was one of the craziest promos he ever done. He said, yes, I'm going to pick up the giant and I'm going to slam him. And the building is going to rip apart and it's going to be flooded with water. And Donald Trump is going to be there, but it's okay. He could just grab onto the biggest back in the world and we could do the backstroke to safety. And he does the backstroke out of there. It's just like, and then thinking about that. And then just like thinking, like fast forwarding until 2024, when you have Hulk Hogan at the RNC ripping up his shirt and having it be Trump.
I've literally been a Macho Man guy since I was fucking 6 years old. I
the goat.
Hated Hulkamania. My mom bought me a Hulkamania shirt and I never wore it. She didn't know better.
Macho Man was woke, right?
Macho Man was Macho Man was just cooler. Like he was so cool. I like the bad guys though. Like I loved Roddy Piper. I love Piper's Pit. Like I don't know, man. We grew up in the golden age of.
But you know what? Who cares?
Well, that's the thing. He was the bad guy.
Yeah, he was definitely the bad guy. I mean, he did one time paint himself half black. He did smack Jimmy Snuka.
Was he problematic?
Hugely problematic.
A little bit.
But definitely a showman. Definitely one of the goats. I'm not.
You want to talk about
you for loving hot
No, actually, at the end of his life, he was very into like, social justice type of stuff. So, One of my favorite moments was on Bill Maher where he took his pants out. He's like, "Is this fucking fake?"
I remember that. Yeah,
Sorry.
I remember that. You listen to WHIVLP New Orleans 102.3. This is Good Morning Comrade. We have Pep Talks on the show. Cursin' Pep, we call him. They call him Cursin' Pep.
Whoops. My bad.
It's okay. 30-10, though.
Yeah, it's one. I got one.
Oh, there's three already. I'm counting.
Oh, is there three?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I got a record. You have the tension after this one.
All right, now that it's at my attention, I will remember. Oh boy.
But no. But wrestling has taken over. You were right about like Linda McMahon, and she was also, even in the first Trump administration, she was in charge of the Small Business Administration.
That made more sense for her, though.
It does make more sense.
Yeah.
But part of the reason, I don't know if you knew, you probably did. Part of the reason that WWE went PG in the mid 2000s is because Linda McMahon was running for Congress, for Senate. And so, one of the reasons that they stopped doing, for example, chair shots to the head in professional wrestling wasn't necessarily because wrestlers were having issues when it comes to, brain injuries and CTE and all this other stuff. No, she had consultants allegedly come to her and say, those guys are getting crushed in the skull with a chair. That's going to look bad for your Senate campaign.
I mean, well, the fact is, they could have used any of that stuff from the Trish Stratus.
Bark like a dog.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah, exactly. They could have used any of that. They could
have had her sale of the Stone Cold Stunner, and that should have ended her campaign.
You know what? One of my favorite pictures that's gone viral recently was the one where it was Stephanie, Linda, and Triple H. And it's just and Donald Trump, and it was just all four of these people have been Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, all standing in the Oval Office.
What? Yeah. That's dude.
It was.
Yeah. You had to know that Stone Cold's actually kind of based is nice. It's also when CM Punk. I'm glad that he turned out to not be such a POS. The way that people tried to make him out to be. I'm like, oh, wait a minute, maybe it's because he was actually not into that politics. And same with Daniel Bryant, where it was the same thing. Where I was just like, man, how come all these guys they play him as bad guys? They all have different politics in them. They all have a little bit of the, social justice in them. Again,
they're lip coded.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, CM Punk doing the thing for the trans community, that was huge. Huge.
Big deal. One of the funniest things about Bryan Danielson, you just mentioned, when he was it is one of his last runs, after he had, so for folks that don't know, Bryan Danielson is a professional wrestler. He's retired right now, thank God, because he had so many head injuries over very many years. He's had to retire 3 or 4 times due to those head injuries, but he made several comebacks in that period. There was a time, though, when he came back, and I love this, when he decided that he became the champion, and he got an all natural, natural fiber hemp belt with wood and turquoise plates in it.
Yep.
Boo,
he called it the what was it? The Planet's Champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, dude, that was so cool.
Boo. Or even if you want to go back, again, professional wrestling, at least obviously professional wrestling is one of the gayest, the gayest things that you possibly have on television. Easily. But it's always sort of tried to, especially the people within it, especially workers and fans, they've always sort of had this sort of internalized homophobia. And so when you have a character who is gay, they're always the heel. So Goldust, for example. Goldust was the son of Dusty Rhodes. Oh, he still lives,
baby. The working man wrestler.
Kind of a plumber.
Plumber.
But he's but his character is that he's this sort of essentially very gay coded. And I remember there was this one incredible moment, and this is encapsulates a lot of, not just, again, because if you look at somebody like Trump, he's kind of sort of seemingly very, very gay coded as well.
Gorgeous George.
Yeah,
that's Trump.
Yeah, he's a heel like that. But it's also at the exact same time, like there was this moment in the ring where Jerry Lawler is like cutting a promo on Goldust or something like that, and Goldust, Jerry Lawler was like, "Aren't you, gay or queer or something like that?" And this is how Goldust turns babyface. He goes, "No," and he just beats up Jerry Lawler. And it's just like, oh, he's the good guy now because he's not gay and he's beating up this dude.
yeah, that's a problem.
It's definitely
like this is why I like the Acclaimed. Like, Anthony Bowens, nice guy by the way. I met him at a local event here. I'm so glad that like AEW is inclusive and they don't do that.
Nyla Rose was a champion like several times in the women's division. She's a transgender.
Yeah, she was like the second one.
Mm-hmm. Giselle Shaw's still running around. She's a champion of Maple Leaf Pro.
TNA. I forgot about
TNA, and she's with Maple Leaf Pro. I think she's Scott D'Amore's girlfriend, actually.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah.
God bless Scott D'Amore.
Scott's always been pretty cool though. Like I don't know.
Team Canada. That's another always evil thing in wrestling is the foreigner. They're doing that right now in WWE with Chelsea Green and like Ethan Page.
With Ethan Page. Yeah, I was about to say that was pretty funny. Or shit, I haven't been creamed like that ever. That was like,
yeah. It's just it really is. Everything is wrestling, and like who do like at least in the kayfabe of American politics, who is hated. Right now, I mean, obviously, it's not. I mean, this doesn't necessarily reflect in, popular polling or whatever. But like, one of the targets is trans people. One of the targets is immigrants. This is sort of like very, very aligned with that exact same sort of like, that same kayfabe, that same philosophy, that same sort of like perspective of we need to have a heel, we need to have a villain. And that's what it
guys
is.
Like Eddie Guerrero made that their thing, though.
Well, yeah, and again, what are they doing when they do that? When you have the villain be the foreigner or be the
well, hold on,
you're generating heat.
I steal.
Yeah, like you're generating this heat, and in the wrestling business, the whole point of it is to generate heat, so you sell tickets and you make money.
Mm-hmm.
And in American politics, again, you're doing the exact same thing.
10,000. I'm so glad that we're talking about this because, I've been talking about pro wrestling and politics pretty much since I got into politics, funny enough. Because when I remember like being in debate class and talking about that with my teacher, I'm like, this is very...
You don't get it. Yeah, they don't get
pro wrestling because like they literally said, they're like, these guys will go on a debate stage, act like they hate each other, and then they will go shake hands and have a beer afterwards. I'm just like, so like wrestlers. And they're like,
no, that's ridiculous.
Like, no, that's like pro wrestling. So you don't get it. It's the exact same thing.
No difference between that and CNN or MSNBC or Fox News
really
or any
isn't.
of this stuff.
It really isn't. And I hate the fact that it like so many people, I mean, you grew up with this, I'm sure, where like, we had to hide it, man. Like I had to hide being a pro wrestling fan. I went to a very small school, and there were WrestleMania season, baby. Every time I would wear my wrestling shirts, and that's when it would all
beat him up.
Well, dude, Austin 316, when that hit,
that was
I will never forget seeing the girl I had a crush on wearing an Austin 316 shirt. I was just like,
oh yeah. Well, you know why that broke through though, right? That broke through because it actually had elements of class war to it. Mm-hmm. What did Stone Cold Steve Austin do every single week? He beat up his boss. There was one time, it was the awesomest thing I'd ever seen in my entire life. I love this. When he had just gotten fired, Stone Cold in the story had just gotten fired, he marches Vince McMahon into the middle of the ring. He holds up a gun to his head. And Vince McMahon pees himself.
Yep.
And then he shoots the gun, and it's a flag that says bang.
Yep.
One of the most amazing things that ever. Could you imagine how awesome that would be to do to your boss?
I mean, just a stone cold stunner your boss,
Yeah.
drive a beer truck into the office. That'd be
Spray
fun.
him down with beer.
Yeah. That'd be
the
awesome.
Attitude Era broke through because it like that was when a lot. Well, they definitely were doing all of the salacious, all of the crazy stuff, all of the boobs.
I still don't think that was what sold it. It wasn't. No. It was Stone Cold, and like when the Rock hit though. Like everybody gives Stone Cold a lot of props, but I watched
Rock
it.
Was Elvis.
Rock was Elvis. When the Rock hit, it was a different feeling. Like that's when everybody that I knew was into wrestling. They were just like The Rock. I was just like, I know.
No, hit Vince McMahon in the head with a bedpan in his hospital. Again. Also in this too, if you remember, again, just to talk about the who's a heel and who's not, the Nation of Domination. They were the Black Panthers in wrestling.
They were, but they were good. Yes. They were well booked.
They were the heels because they're scary black dudes, and like they were militant, like the militant black organization that was supposed to be the bad guys. And The Rock came out of that. The most popular wrestler in history, essentially, him or Austin.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I remember.
That's so cool.
I was about to say, I remember Rod Killings, though. Also,
another goat.
And I was about to say, he kind of was talking about that, where he was just like, yeah, but my favorite part was the fact that that's not what, like, it wasn't The Rock that sold the Nation of Domination. It was damn.
Yeah, damn. Yeah, it was.
No, I've always, I don't know. The weird part is, like, I don't like The Godfather.
The character, or the guy.
Not the character. Like, I didn't like that. Yeah, I didn't like the pimp character. I thought that was always like, I don't know,
a little goofy.
It wasn't goofy. It was kind of like playing into the stereotype stuff when it shouldn't have been, because they already had enough guys that like they were just breaking through on their talent alone. Like Booker T was the first one where I was just like, dude, Booker T's so good.
Yeah, Booker T. But like I guess my in just like slight defense of The Godfather is a gimmick. And just to be clear, this guy was just literally a pimp.
He was
like that. A pimp
he had his hose.
Yes, with women coming to the ring, and he would very often just say, "Hey," to his opponent in this match. He would be like, "Instead of having a wrestling match with me, you could just go home with these ladies." And a lot of times he would just take them up on
it.
That is just another stereotype. That is just another one of the things that is in wrestling. So like, I guess my point here is that it's just not that different from a lot of these things.
Yeah, but I never was into that. Like even when I was a kid, I didn't like the Mountie. I didn't like any of that. Like I didn't like any of that stuff. I didn't like the guys that were all about
Big Boss Man.
Well, Big Boss Man was all right. Big Boss Man, whatever.
He was police brutality. That's what he was.
He was police brutality, but he was booked as a heel. Listen. Yeah. They didn't try to book him as a face. That's the only thing that I'm just standing up for here, okay? Also, he's a good worker. Like I still like recognize like the good work. Like that's where I've always been disappointed by the Ultimate Warrior, where it was just like so many of my friends loved Warrior. I was just like, dude, he's not good.
Also, he didn't have a gimmick. Like his gimmick was, I'm a cartoon character and I like to scream and I'm jacked up on steroids. I scream nonsense.
Were you like at the same age then, where I was like 8 or 9, and I remember like my younger cousins loved him. They thought he was like the ultimate future of wrestling, and I remember even at that point recognizing his in-ring work as being subpar, where I'm just like, he doesn't do anything. He's just shaking the ropes and then he's done.
Like, you know who the only person that could carry him to a great match was?
Hulk Hogan.
That was actually a great match.
Actually, that was a banger match, and I'm not gonna piss on it.
I can't remember which year it was, which WrestleMania it was, but it was it was Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior for the Intercontinental Championship. Mm-hmm. It was a banger, and it was, in part because of
Randy. Well, Randy was like he could make anybody look good.
Yeah, he can again, like it's a cliche, but he could have a 5-star match with a broomstick, and
he could have. No, he really could have. Like cliche. I mean, don't give Jim Cornette a heart attack now, like. Because now he'd come out here and be like, you know what? Now I'm watching Kenny Omega going out there wrestling a 7-year-old girl. Yeah, it's not much different.
He's living to a blow up doll.
That was funny though. The blow up doll match was funny.
Okay. Listen, WHIVLP New Orleans 102.3. We've been talking a lot about wrestling. Another thing that broke through. Again, I don't know where we're going. Another thing that broke through because it was real, and that is another one of these things that, like, when you have these sort of like pull back the curtain, you cannot talk about any kind of wrestling history without talking about the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I'm talking about Bret the Hitman Hart, okay? And one of the most, like, things, again, this is about being real. This is about things actually breaking through. Whether or not the particulars of 1997 in Montreal
job here.
are real. Whether or not, like, that was a shoot or a work or anything like that. The one thing that connected with people is that it was communicated. And again, the story goes, and just to sort of like for people who are listening who don't have the backstory, in 1996, Vince McMahon essentially had a 20-year contract with Bret Hart, so that he was a champion. He would essentially sign the future of the WWF at the time, like essentially hitched it to Bret Hart.
Mm-hmm. And it was a record contract at that time too.
It was an insane contract, whatever. And at some point, Vince essentially says, "I have to breach this contract. Can't do it. Whatever." Mm-hmm. And Bret's like, "Okay, fine, cool, whatever. I'll go get a job with this other company. Whatever." But I want to go out on my terms. He had a particular problem with another great wrestler, Shawn Michaels, where he essentially said, "I'm not going to drop this title belt because wrestling is a work." He's not going to drop this title belt to Shawn Michaels, and Bret Hart is legitimate enough that he could prevent Shawn Michaels from doing it because he was actually a badass when it came to like a fight. Right? Or
wasn't it also the fact that the last show was in Canada?
And it was in Montreal. Yeah. And this is sort of one of those things where they sort of like, okay, we have to concoct this cockamamie scheme where, Bret Hart essentially, gets screwed out of the championship, and Vince McMahon is there in the aftermath of this, which was like everybody watching is just like aghast at what's going on.
Real quick, I'll just add this. So Vince McMahon said that Bret was going to retain the belt, but drop it on Monday.
This is what he told to Bret.
Yeah. He said that you're going to be able to keep the belt, and then you can
go on your own terms.
You can go on your own terms. You can put the belt down on Monday, and that was the agreement. Mm-hmm. But the big thing is that, Bret didn't know about the twist.
Yeah, there was they made it so that the other guy wins. And in the aftermath, like, Bret Hart's like standing in the ring, like, what the hell? Like, what's going on? And he spits a big snotty loogie right in Vince McMahon's face.
It was a rocket.
It was disgusting. It was green.
When you say snot rocket,
like old 1997 CRT televisions.
Yep.
Like, this was how like disgusting this thing was. Mm-hmm. Later on in the back, and again, this might be all part of the, fantasy or whatever of it all. They just happen to have a film crew there for a documentary for Bret Hart on this documentary that came out. It was called Wrestling with Shadows, right? Mm-hmm. And in this, there was a backstage or a fight that took place where
it wasn't a fight. It was a one punch.
Allegedly again, and Bret Hart will tell this story. He essentially did an uppercut to Vince McMahon and knocked him out.
Knocked him out. No, because they're my favorite one is oh my god, the blonde hair guy. He's been there forever. Michael
PSAs.
Yeah. He was in the room and he came out and said, he was just like, yeah,
Bret Hart murdered him.
Yeah, he uppercutted it. And the film crew wasn't in the room, so you see the aftermath. So you see Vince come out, and he's just like,
Yeah. Busted up face. Like you
all
see
messed
enough.
up.
But again, like you can be a conspiracy theorist enough about this, and it is kind of like wrestling's Kennedy assassination.
Oh, it is. No, it is 10,000%. There
To the
isn't
point where,
anything
like,
else.
you don't know what's real. People will talk about this endlessly.
I don't know. You know what sells it to me? Hebner. Hebner leaving
the referee. You mean the referee?
Earl Hebner leaving the building the way he did. That sold it to me. Where I was like, oh, he knew, and he was like, I don't want to be here. Because Vince, he was the only one Vince told, and he was just like, I don't want to do this. He's just like, you're gonna do it, or you're gonna have a job, pal.
Yeah. Oh man. But anyway, like we're definitely going down wrestling lane here. Wrestling.
Yeah, this isn't a wrestling podcast. Like, my bad, guys.
No, it's cool. But like it is one of those sorts of things that like it was able to break through because it was real. When you have real moments, people connect to it. Part of the reason people disengage with wrestling at these sort of like times like now is because it doesn't seem very real. You know, even when you have a wrestling match where like, look, I love Samoa Joe. He had a wrestling match on Sunday in a cage where he got bloodied, cut open, all this other stuff. It felt like a wrestling match. It didn't feel like anything like super duper crazy or special or anything like that, other than the fact that this dude got a championship, which he deserves. He's awesome. And God bless. I'm not being a hater. Nothing in that feels real right now, so people don't pay attention. On Friday, when Zoran Mamdani goes to the White House and Donald Trump falls in love with him in front of everybody and undermines an entire like political strategy for the next year, that's a real thing that is sorry to sound like Joe Rogan for a second, but like that is a real thing that is happening in that moment.
I have an emote on my channel for that.
That's the real thing.
Yeah, or it's him saying it.
Yeah.
I literally took the screenshot of him saying that's a real thing, just for added authenticity.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I feel like I'm like throwing a lot of like stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks in this discussion.
Oh,
but I do think that it makes sense to me. You know, when these real things, because nothing is more fake in the world than a lot of these politics. And part of the reason, even though he's a liar, even though he's completely full of crap, 99.9% of the time, Donald Trump is able to make people feel things. Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, all these friggin' losers can't do it. Bernie Sanders, even though he's just talking straight up about like we need universal health care or whatever, that makes people feel things.
Consistency, though.
Yeah.
That's his biggest thing. Consistency.
And talking about things that matter. You know, he might not be the most electric person. Zoran Mamdani, same thing. He's talking about affordability. He's talking about buses. He's talking about.
But he is electric. He does it in a way that where you're like,
he's got it all.
Yeah.
Like,
same with AOC. Kind of like Obama her delivery is great.
Yeah.
You know, you can really feel the not just excitement, but the like you were saying, authenticity. You can feel that they actually care about this.
Yeah.
You know, like we as an American public,
even if he doesn't care about it, he's gonna do something. It's gonna have an impact.
He's gonna try. I mean, I just hope he doesn't turn into Brandon Johnson. Like Brandon Johnson's such a disappointment.
What happened with him?
So he was not necessarily DSA, but he was sold to us. That's what I'm saying. He was sold to us as a more left candidate, and everybody hates Lori Lightfoot. We all hated her. She is awful.
She was Eric Adams.
She's awful. She was so bad.
He took some of the most hilarious pictures I've ever seen, though.
Oh, yes. The pictures were absolutely hilarious. Totally. And I like there were some of them that were borderline tasteless, where I was like, because I lived through it, man. I lived through Rahm Emanuel's BS right before her, too, and she did nothing to walk back
he's a soulless
any of his policies. The second that she doubled down on his transportation policy, I was like, I am so done with this. Like, I'm not like I barely remember Mayor Daley too. But I grew up through him, and you know, everybody is just they always talk about the Daleys, you know, oh well, Daley wouldn't have done this. You know what? Chicago was great when Daley was the mayor. I was just like, do I have to remind you that actually the crime rate when the last year he was mayor was the highest Chicago's crime rate has ever been. But okay.
It doesn't matter if people feel good about you, though. It doesn't. It literally doesn't.
No, they just remember Marshall Fields at Christmas, and they're just like, I just remember going to the Loop and being able to look at the pretty lights and not having all these, color. They had some color to their skin. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, we get it. We get it. Got myself.
And again, like, it's another one of those sorts of deals where, like, again, the level of crime literally was higher in that era.
Oh, it was so much worse.
But now, the same people that would complain about, the crime now, I don't ever go to the city because the crime's too high or whatever.
Literally,
they're like, oh, you remember when Daly was around?
Yep. I was a season at, like, not a season, but I was like a quarter season ticket holder at the Blackhawks for a while, and I sat next to a guy who was like that, where he would drive in from the burbs, and it was just like, yo, dude, the way he would talk about, like, leaving the building, you would think that he needed private security. Meanwhile, I'm just walking home. I'm like, all right, like, whatever, man.
Yeah. Every city's like, I don't know, man. Every city has lower rates of crime than, like, the suburban area surrounding it.
Oh, well, it's just how it goes. Because they don't know how to think per capita.
Yeah.
They have no idea. They just think about, again, what you see on the streets, like, again, homeless people. Like, they hate homeless people. Let's be real. Everybody hates these homeless people that are invading our communities. Like,
treat them like they're rats or something.
They do. They literally do, man. Like, I'll admit, like, we got some are problematic, and it's not even like a little bit of like the social worker wouldn't be it. Okay. Like, I'm just going to be real. Like, this is actually a funny story, but it's also gross. My friend got pissed on outside the House of Blues.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's an experience.
We were just sitting there smoking a cigarette. All of a sudden he turns around. He's like, "Are you peeing on me?" I was just like, what is happening?
Look, if you're in the city, stuff is going to happen. It's fine. Would you rather it be boring?
You know what stinks, though? He was from the burbs, so he to this day will tell me about that story where he's like, dude, I got peed on. I'm like, I mean, that was just a little bout of bad luck. It's like, I mean, he couldn't have chosen anybody better, I guess, in that moment to scare him away from the city forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, we do got to wrap it up. So where can people find you? Where can people, see what you're up to?
You guys can find me on my channel, PepTalksTV, on YouTube, and at PepTalksTV on Twitch. You guys can see my stream Monday through Friday, 4:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we have a lot of fun. I do about 6 to 8 hours on average. So come join.
Cool. Well, thanks again for joining us. And in the meantime, I bid you adieu and good night.
Night.
Bang.
All right.